Hi there. Welcome to episode 6 of Digital ILIAD. We're making an FTL-like game in Godot. I'm Dave, and today we're mostly going to be working on adding doors to our pathfinding system. Maybe we'll touch on a little animation. Still really want to animate that high five whenever two crew members pass. Where they substitute positions. Really want to get a good high five in there. But let's start with doors. Let's start working with doors. So yesterday we were working on some door animations. And we pulled the doors out of the tile map. These doors on the edge are still tile map doors, but we'll probably get rid of that whole concept of having a tile map door soon. But this is just a test area. We're going to see if we can path into the hallway and then into the next room. Oh, I'm so sorry. Elbowing my microphone. We'll see if we can get that pathfinding working. Just where the doors open automatically, close automatically. Eventually we want to be able to select and manually either lock or open the doors. My nice cup of tea. Yeah, let's start working on doors. So, the thing about the doors, immediately crash. Look at the map, door position plus. So right away we are trying. I think we did this at the end of yesterday. We were just going to set it up so that the door, because where the door is sitting is actually in between two tiles. So I was trying to get the tile before and the tile behind the door. Somehow we're getting a invalid index on the dictionary, which makes sense. I feel like we're trying to assign these right now, so why are we getting a... Oh, we're not assigning anything. Makes more sense. Let's try that again. Yeah, so the tile before and the tile behind the door. I don't know if we necessarily need to distinguish which is which. I don't think we do. The other question is whether we want the doors to open seamlessly so that there's no slowdown. I think there's an argument to be made for that, to have zero slowdown when you're opening and when you're trying to move through automatic doors that are unlocked. But I also see the argument for making it so that if the door is closed, the character needs to get to the tile in front of the door, wait for the door to open, and then move through it. That's a little more complicated, I think. And the only reason I can think of to have that be the way we want to do this is to introduce the need to micromanage opening and closing doors, and that is not what I want. I actually think the only interaction a player should have with a door is to lock it or unlock it. Do I want them to be able to Maybe we put buttons next to the door that you can press to open and close them. I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe it's like single click opens or closes and like double click. Yeah, because I mean, we have left mouse and right mouse. Normally, we use left mouse to select and right mouse to move. But in the case of a door, it might make sense for just, we highlight the door, and then we make left click either open or close, or we make right click lock or unlock. I'm not sure which will be which, but we'll see. We'll see what makes the most sense. So we'll definitely also need to be getting the outline shader on the doors, but let's wait until the doors are interactive. And we still need to figure out a way of communicating that the door is locked. Or not. Maybe we do some animation of these arrows, these yellow arrows. Maybe they'll flash. Maybe we'll have them flash if they're locked or something. You could also have them flash when the door is opening and closing. That might also look cool. That might be unnecessary though. Oh well, let's figure this out. So let's try to do it the simplest way first, which is just the door. We just start opening or closing the door. We don't really have anything living in the door code at the moment. We just have whether it's open, whether we've flipped it. Because if we've flipped it, the coordinates are different. So let's actually just account for that right now. That seems like an okay place to start. And so if child.flip and we'll do one thing, else we'll do this thing. So the flipped one, if it's this, it should just be the opposite of this, right? Yeah. Oh, what? No, that doesn't make sense. Because that's what we have over here. Let me just look at it for a second. So if it's facing the other way, then we have positive. Oh, it's yeah, that makes more sense. It's either both positive or both negative. Yes. This should probably be past tense, like flipped. Similarly, let's make this opened because it's the state of it. Okay, so we're registering our door, registering where they are. And so I think we're going to do the work here and on arrived at next tile. Just where we do a lot of our work. I don't see a reason why it needs to be before the crew member occupied tile check. We'll put it after, I guess. So We're just checking if next tile, the next tile is in the doorways. If the next tile's in the doorways, and if the little door is doorways style. And then if door not opened, door dot opened, not true. I'll animate this. Or dot play. Oh no, we need to get their animation. Door dot get node. Animation. Like that? Is that what I call it? Animation player, no space. Play. Open. Is that it? More dot opened is true. Let's see if we crash. Oh, all the doors got opened. Interesting. Just make sure this is happening here. No, it's not, so they're just starting opened somehow all of a sudden. Could have sworn we started them closed. Oh, did I do that? Oh, I was playing with the base door. We want to make sure the base door starts closed. There we go. Attempt to call function play and base null instance on a null instance. Yes, I'm not getting the node correctly. So door, I don't know why I was saying not equal true, but it's fine. Can I say something like this if door opened is false? No, that's weird. Let's look at get node. IntelliSense is not really helping us here. Close door as door. Yeah, because get node returns a node, but we need a door. I need to specify the root. No, I shouldn't need to. Be fine. Oh, I need to go through the sprite 2D to get to the node. That makes sense. 2D, something like this. This radio station is kind of all over the place. But, I guess I don't mind. Should be okay then. What did I do this time? Oh man, it's working. It's working. Oh shoot. Now we need to get the doors to close behind him. That was surprisingly painless. It's definitely happened quick enough, I'll tell you that. I don't think it's happening too quickly, though. So how are we going to handle this? How are we going to handle the cleanup? I'm a little concerned about situations like this, where if, like, what if we send one person through the doors and then we send another person shortly after, and so the door starts to try to close and then needs to reopen, but it's in the middle of doing so. Why doesn't that floor? Oh, it's because this wall is in front of it and this door is in front of it. What was happening over there? I was so busy looking in one room, I was not paying attention to what happened in the other room. We're gonna look at that one more time, because that seemed weird. Yeah, so I'm a little concerned about, well, not this situation per se. A little concerned about weird snaps. Okay, that worked fine. God, I want that high five. I want to get that high five in here. I think we need to shorten the running animation to make that doable. Yeah, because we're cutting this a little close. Let's fix that really quickly. I know what we need to do here. Are you still outputting debugging messages? I thought I got rid of you. Where the print's at? Okay, here we go. Yeah, that should be it. Kind of want to call this like auto door or something. Give it a little bit of a longer name. Alright, so how do we want to do this? I think we could just use a timer. I don't know if the timer is the right choice here. The issues of a timer. The timer would be reset every time someone tried to open the door, potentially. So that would be good. Could easily do something in here. Because, yeah, I feel like it would be good for the door to basically clean itself up, basically to close itself after an amount of time. So maybe we are doing this like a timer. Which I guess we would just put on you. Just so we're not creating and disposing of timers all the time. So it's a one-shot timer. Not auto start. It takes 2/3 of a second for someone to reach the door. It also takes 2/3 of a second for the door to open. Actually takes more than 2/3 of a second for the door to open. That we maybe want to fix. Although, maybe that's okay. When do we signal next tile? We signal it when we reached our tile and we are... Okay, so we do signal it when we are a tile away, but the door is between tiles. So yeah, let's fix our animation timings a little bit first, and then let's worry about a timer. Could I just refer to it this way? Could I just have these be onReady variables and then not have to do get node? Is that like the better way to do this? Venom player. Oh, no, it needs to be right 2D. Is that how this works? Maybe I don't know how this Oh, oops. I need to add this. Is this a thing? Okay. We like type safety here. These aren't onReady variables. They're just variables. We just happen to be setting them in ready. There we go. And let's go back to the chipboard. Let's try it like this. Player. And Oh, hey, Hunius. Yes. Thank you. Sorry for not seeing that. I have the YouTube chat in like a different screen because I am honestly not expecting to see anybody there. The Twitch app still not working right for my channel. Is that why you're on YouTube today? Yeah, it's you, Vladis. I know. How could I forget my first time chatter, both Twitch and YouTube. Appreciate you tuning in however you can. Got some doors going. You know, it probably is a transcoding issue, you're right. Like, my resolution is high. I'm streaming to like 1080p on Twitch and 1440p to YouTube. When do I get transcoding? Do I have to be like an affiliate? We're a long ways from that. But I do hope we get there someday. Anyway, so we were working on having the doors close themselves on a timer. Timer start. Is that how that works? How do timers work? I honestly haven't used a timer yet. I mean, I did in like a tutorial or something. Yeah, it's just start time. Seconds, float equals -1. Does float equal -1 as the default? Okay, so it emits a timeout signal. Okay, so on timeout, we will just take care of that. In timeout, we'll just close the door. Alright, thanks for stopping by, Flatus. Appreciate it. In the timeout, we're gonna play close. Oh. Close. False. We need to hook up the signal. timeout. That's what we want to call it. Okay, it's fine. I mean, I know I can call it whatever I want, but we'll just go with the default here. Windows taskbar, get out of the way. Oh my god. Alright, that's what we want. I don't know if we want the timer to be a second, though. Second would let someone get... No, a second is barely enough time. Let's make it 2 seconds. That seems safer. We might end up making it like 1.667, just for fun. So that's the time it takes to travel a tile. In which case we probably want it to be shorter, actually. I don't know. Whatever. Let's try it. Let's try it. And then we do also have to fix these animation lengths, I think. Let's send them through the door. So oops. Okay, yeah, that's not enough time because it opens actually when he reaches here. Oh, and it takes him a... It's not exactly how I thought this worked. But that's when it's calling. It's calling it when it reaches the dividing line between tiles. I thought it would call it. Does it call it here? Yeah, okay, there's a visual delay. That's what my problem is. Okay, so if you're here and you call it, that actually is totally fine. That actually looks awesome. It's nice to see some stuff moving. Well, we need to make this a lot more. I can get like 3 seconds. Try that. Might eventually be a problem. I want to try this again by sending both people through, like one quickly after the other, and see if we get like some good animation glitches. So it's going to try to close. No, I need to do it closer than that. Okay, let's send the back one first. Then send the front one. Okay. That's maybe not the behavior we want. Oh, we need to reset the timer if someone else calls it. Right, I forgot. I wonder how we do that. Well, I mean, I'm starting it again. Is that not the right behavior? Oh, that's what's happening, I think. Because I'm not passing a time. I want to pass their normal wait time. So I want to pass, so yeah, because we call this wait time. So yeah, I want to pass door.timer.wait time. I think that's what I want to do. So that way we restart the timer. Oh, I did this wrong. It's not going to work. I need to send the back one first. Yeah. Not getting the behavior I want. Funny though, but it's not what I want. I feel like it's closing really fast when it's doing that. There's some interaction here that I don't understand happening. I mean, not what I just saw. What we just saw was not it. But if we look at it this way, we're gonna watch it close really fast and then open again. Like, that's funny, but it's also like not what we want. Oh, it's because it's calling open again. I think that's what's happening. It's switching to being closed because yes. Is that what's happening? The timer times out. We say the door is no longer. Is that what's happening? I want to print the... This is going to look terrible, but we're going to print... We're going to print the timer time, playback time. So what counts down? Like, how do I see how far a timer is through its current countdown? I hope it's not also wait time. No, it can't be, because wait time has to be consistent. Time left. I just want to see what the time left is as we're doing this. I need to put delta in here. It's not going to help me much. I'm not going to be able to like reasonably interpret that. I guess we can see if this is being triggered if we manage this correctly. So let's try to send them both together as quickly as possible. One right after the other. See if the timeout triggers. Okay, so the timeout didn't trigger. I think it is just replaying the... Oh no, timeouts don't trigger. Signal executions don't seem to trigger breakpoints is actually what I believe is the problem. I mean, this is fine, I guess. It's like not ideal. I kind of want to hold the door open. Timer.start, door.wait, timer.wait time. I want to know what happens if the timer's already been started and I restart it. Like, that doesn't count as a timeout, I think. I hope. Okay, let's think about this. So, for next tile in doorways... Oh. I think the problem is that we're calling this twice. Because the doorway... Oh, shoot. It's because we have the tile both on this side of the end of the other. No. No, yeah, that is a problem. Because we've marked both the tile before and the tile behind the door. Am I doing this the wrong way? Should I just... No, I need the Pathfinder to know about the doors. I was thinking for a second that I could just do this with collisions. I could do this with just areas. Like, as soon as the area got to the door would open, and the door would close. However, that would cause some problems. Oh, yeah. I'm wondering what's causing the door to close so quickly. That's what... Is the animation player, like, speeding up so that it can do another animation? Oh, come on, guys. No, not like this. Well, let's see what happens. Should just open once. I feel like that sending multiple people stacked on top of each other is going to be like exploitable. Well, let's worry about that later. So send them, and then I'm so bad at this precision. Yeah, they're not close enough. I'm not getting the behavior that I was seeing. That's bothering me. Here it's totally fine. This is working fine. Okay, let's see if I can do this quickly enough to cause a problem. Yeah. What is that? It's gonna happen here too. It's gonna shut really quickly and then open back up. I think that has something to do... with the fact that we're playing an animation. And we are recording the door as being no longer opened immediately. So we actually maybe need... Does animation player have a good signal for me? No, it's just got animation changed and current animation changed. It's not really what I want. I want animation like completes. Animation finished. Yes, 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 yes. That's what we want. I'm not gonna do the whole on animation play or animation finished. I really don't want to do it that way. Yeah, whatever. It's just... There, are you happy? We can pass the string name. What is a string name? Immutable strings. Okay. So if and is anim name equals open. Should be fine. Yeah, let's get this out of here. Let's see if this gives us something more like what we want. Animation player, animation finished. Connect. And then let's take this stuff out. I want to fix these animation timings. I want each of these to be about 8. Come in at about 8. Which may be... Or I want them to be done by 8, you know, by 0.8. 0.8. That should help a little. Let's do the same thing with closed. No real reason to have a gap there. Let's see what we get. Doors are all open. Probably because I left the doors on close. We need like an idle animation. I don't know. I mean, I guess open is good. I mean, maybe we want some doors to start. No, we don't want any doors to start. Opened. We're definitely gonna want some like FTL style, like oxygen, like being able to drain rooms of oxygen, or have some fun emergent interactions between like oxygen and fire. Yeah, just blatantly steal that from FTL. Alright, let's send one person through at a time and see what happens. I mean, there isn't any weird behavior that we should get. Let's also send you through. I try to send them both through in quick succession and see if that causes a problem. Send you, and send you. Okay, okay. It's still insisting on closing the door, and it's barely getting the door open in time for this follow-up. Let's see if we can get them even closer. Yeah, like this, like a tile behind each other. That seems fine. It's maybe too close. Let's stop for a second. It takes too long to change the people's direction. Okay, let's try this. They're about a tile behind each other. Yeah, that's not it. We need to stop. We need to stop the closing. Or we need to reset the closing time. Oh, we're not actually setting the... Oops. We removed the bowls from here and we didn't add them back here. Oh no, we did. We added it here. But we didn't add... Oh no, it is right. It's just here. An animation player finished. Opened is animation name open. Yeah, there's something with timers that I'm not understanding. We just need to hold the door. There's time left report. Turn 0 if the timer is inactive. No, let's do this. Let's do a simple check. Let's say if. So the door's not open. The door's not open. That means the door is probably opening. It's okay. Maybe we want the timer start to happen in the door thing. Yeah, we're adding a lot of gaps here that are going to cause problems, like the time between the door playing in the open and being registered as opened. This is kind of weird. I should probably try to think this through a little more clearly. So let's try to explicitly lay out what we need to happen. So if someone reaches the door, they want to try to open the door. If they reach the door and the door is already open, we're going to have some problems with if the door is either opening, closing. Can I scrutinize what state the animation player is in? So that might help. This current animation. Okay. That might be necessary. We might need to check our current animation. That. I'm tempted to have the timer controlled here. When is that a problem? We're going to need to be able to like interrupt the animation. Like if the animation is partially done closing, we're going to need to run the open animation from that frame. So I need to familiarize myself more with how to do this sort of thing. We could queue. Looks like there's queuing. Well, it's playing. That's good. So we can know whether the animation is playing or not. Get next. Okay. So we can maybe add animations to the queue instead of playing them. I should probably be doing that. We need like some kind of pathfinding interrupt if the door is closing or the door is closed. In case the player gets stuck in one of these, the door's closing, the door's opening. I mean, if we make the door animation fast enough, I guess we don't need to. I kind of like the speed it's going now. So Q looks good. Q looks like that will help. It's like what we actually want is if anim. We don't need the. We can just do if anim name is open. Then we both want open to be true, and we want timer.start. This is what we want. animPlayer.queue closed. Else opened equals false. Maybe this is what we want. At least more like what we want. I do think we need to play with the timer here. So if the door is not open, but if door.animPlayer is playing, if we're about halfway through the stream. I guess we are doing what I said we were going to do, which is pathfinding and animation, but I didn't think it was all going to be about the door. That's fine. The doors are like... If the crew members are like the main characters, like the doors are definitely like the supporting actors in this kind of a game. The doors definitely matter. So I don't mind spending time on it. If door animPlayer is playing, can I scrutinize what it's playing, or is it just no? I don't think so. I could do it. Well, if door is opened, I don't like this is not equal true. Let's just call it what it is. It's a little easier to read. The door opened, so if the door is not opened, the only possible animation we'd be playing is to open. So just want so if the door is playing and if the door is open, so if the door is not open but the door is opening, I think we don't do anything, right? We just stay the course because the door will open by the time we get there. But if the door is not playing, this is when we want to act. If the door is not opened and the door is not playing, which means it's open, it's not opening, then in which case we need to get the door to play. We need to get the door to open. Yeah, there's still a world where we're like, we are closing the door. We are like actively closing the door. Yeah, I'm gonna need to, we maybe need an animation mixer or something. I don't know if animation flare, or we can blend. Yeah, get blend time. Turns the blend time in seconds between. Yeah, I don't know. I'm really not an animator. It's my problem. I gotta look at an animation mixer. We'll do some research off stream and how we can do a bit more sophistication, like how we can interrupt custom blend times, some speed. Yeah, it's a little different. What I want, I don't know if, I guess blending is kind of what I want. I just need a way of being able to stop one animation in a particular frame and then restart it and then start a different animation at the corresponding frame so that if we're like partially close the door, we can reopen the door. Referenced by their keys. Oh, no. Okay, so this is what I want. This is kind of what I want. I'm not totally sure how to use it, but I feel like I can probably do this with an animation player. I guess we could have used tweens for this. Okay. So on the door side of things, when the timer times out, we cue the close. We could just say play, but we're going to say cue. Timer start. Okay, so now let's think more about the state here. So, if the door is not open, and if the door is not currently opening, then we want to clear.anim clear.q open. Else. This is where we would have to do use or blend between or stop. Let's call it stop. Closing. No. So if the animal opening door, no, okay, so we don't do anything in this case. We would do something in this case. So if the door is opened, if door.animation is playing, if the door is closed, no, if the door is opened but we're playing an animation, this is where we want our to do. Because we want to stop the door closing animation and start opening at that keyframe. Responding. That same keyframe. Corresponding. Because it's not the same frame, I don't think. That corresponding keyframe. That's what we want, I think. Otherwise, we are going to... So for the moment, if the door is open, but the animation is playing, to close it, really not much we can do right now. Except to cue that door open. So if the door is open and there is no animation playing, what we want to do is door.timer. Okay, else if door.timer.time left greater than 0. Door.timer.time left equals 3. Is this a problem? Oh, it's not else if, it's elif. The door is open. There is no timer.
Our struggle as artists isn't about appeasing the crowd.
Sure. There's
Rather,
warning.
it's about tending to the broken parts
Door
of ourselves.
stuck open.
Create things as a reflection of this struggle.
Because if the door is open,
Perception of self.
the animation player isn't playing,
That way,
and the timer is inactive.
necessarily a thing you achieve. Rather, it is a state of mind which you constantly strive toward. This all comes from an understanding that ideas aren't static, but fluid, like water. Be like water.
You water, my friend, I guess. Let's set value into property time left. It's read only. So let's start. Is this how we do it then? We start it. We just restart the timer with 3 seconds. Actually, I guess we can say door.timer.wait time. We shouldn't need to do that, though. It should just use the wait time when it starts, right? I don't know. I don't know enough about timers. We'll do some research. We'll do some research on animation player. We'll do some research on timers. Okay, well, the simple case seems to still be working. See if I'm getting crazy errors spitting out. Nope. Alright, let's send this person over. Then we're going to try to send both of them back through in quick succession and see what happens. I think I'm maybe getting bogged down a little bit unnecessarily. Send you, send you. This case should just work trivially now. Of where they're both within one tile of each other and they're moving through the doors. Yeah, so there's no weird, funky stuff happening. We want to see if they're maybe, what if they're slightly more than one tile? So what are we going to do here? Oh, did we hold the door open? Are we holding the door open? And they're over a tile away from each other. Alright, let's see how like exaggerated, how far that distance. Let's try to get them like 2 tiles away from each other. Yeah, like here. Let's see what happens here. We're holding the door. Oh my god. We actually did it. Alright. Sure, there's some obscure, crazy... Say what door? Is that possible? Door plus stuck open? This... Is this an okay syntax for printing? Well, what's the worst that'll happen? We'll get like a horrible crashing bug. Because I just want to know what door it is. Oh, which door is stuck open? I mean, I guess it would be visually obvious which door is stuck open. Okay, okay, we're doing it. We did it. We have some basic door functionality here. I am maybe not super happy about how we're just putting all of our logic in this at arrived at next tile, unarrived at next tile function, but you know, it's probably not the worst. At least it's reactive, or I mean, at least it happens at consistent, you know, points. Oh, Vibes Makes Games. Welcome. Here comes the vibes. Indeed. What's up? How's it going? Thank you for the follow. Let's clean up our crew members animation a little bit. I want to tighten it up just in terms of timing. I want it to be around 0.8 or 0.85 just because of the tile travel times. Let's do that. Let's move it up. Let's tighten it up first. So this messes. So doing this, I don't love doing this. So we can only move each one by 1/10. And if I move 3 of them, that's 3/10. That actually gets us around the 0.7, which is actually maybe okay. Let's try it. It kind of messes with the proportions a little bit. It messes with the proportions a lot of it, actually. Yeah, let's not do that right now. Oh. Not too good. Godot, none of your code works, and it can't even make your player move or rotate. Oof. We're okay at the moment. We've been pretty much unfortunate. We've been debugging timers and stuff like all morning. Where was this? But we're finally getting in an okay place. We're still really early days here. We can select our characters, move them around. They'll handle collisions. So like if they're heading to the same tile, one of them will move out of the way. We just got doors working. Are you doing 2D or 3D? $2D? Okay, yeah, same, obviously. I enjoy the 2D. I know weapon rotation can probably be pretty crazy. I mean, I was watching Randy's videos on setting up their weapon 2D, their weapon rotation stuff, and that's like, you gotta look at matrices and this whole thing. That seems hard in any engine. But player movement, I'm taking the easy way out for player movement at the moment. Like, I have character bodies, but all I'm doing is just like position.move toward next position. Like, are you doing like physics, more physicsy stuff? Because I can imagine that becomes like really obscure really quickly. Movement in Node 2D? Yeah. Oh, movement in Node 2D. Just like a base Node 2D. I guess that works. Maybe it doesn't work. I don't know. Yeah, I guess you can just move their position. You just change their transform position. Yeah, so you should be able to do what I'm doing here. You should be able to do position.move toward whatever your next position is and whatever speed you want. I honestly don't know why I have a character body 2D. I guess it's so I can just have the collision shape without having a separate area 2D, which I honestly could have. I'm not really using the character body 2D stuff. I'm not really using collisions. I'm not using like grounded motion. Really not sure why I am using, although I do have input pickable, which is good. So yeah, I could probably simplify my character too. I am sorry that you've kind of hit a wall there. I've definitely been there. That's been like most of these streams. We're only just starting our second week here. Okay, I do want to look at my animations. So the thing is, it takes our characters about 1 2/3 seconds to pass from one tile to another tile, and the animations are 1 second each. So we're trimming the second iteration of the animation, so I want to tighten it up. But I can't manually place with more detail than every 1/10 of a second, so I guess I need to type in the frame time here manually. So what's the ratio here? It's like, so it's 0.3 between the run and the idle, and then it's 0.2 between the idle and the next run. Okay, so it's like 2/3. The idle times are 2/3 the lengths of the running frames. Yeah, so can we maintain that and trim this animation by like 1/5 of a second? kind of. I basically want to move everyone up. You move you by, so if I move you by a tenth, and you by a tenth, and you by a tenth, then we're at 0.7, which is a little shorter than I want. Actually, no, I guess that's fine, because then I'll have about a tenth of a second at this idle, and I'll have about a tenth of a second. Still have about a 20th second. Okay, yeah, we're going to need to get more fine grain then. We're going to need to get a little more fine grain. So let's call you 0.25. Because I still want the run. I want the idle portions to be pretty short here. Can we see what I'm doing as I'm doing it? Oh, yeah, I guess. Not really. I would need to play it, I guess, then. So let's call this 0.25. So this will be 3/20ths. This is 1/4 of a second. One 5, and we'll bring. Oh, the tutorials. Yeah, I was doing tutorials to start. I mean, who doesn't? Who doesn't start with some tutorials? Let's make this 0.65. I did start doing tutorials before I made this project, just to try to get some basics under my belt here. Kind of helped a little bit. I find myself still mostly just reading documentation. Just kind of staring at it, and then I often don't figure out the solution until someone in chat tells me. Yeah, the tutorials aren't helping. It's kind of tough. What kind of movement are you aiming for? Because, like, for me, my movement is like point and click. Like, I'm selecting a character and then moving it. Are you doing like, oh, top down, but is it like direct control? Are you like using like the arrow keys or like WASD to like just physically yeah, WASD? Okay. And WASD just isn't moving the character at all? I mean, if you know that your input maps are set up correctly, like if you know that you've got your input maps set up so that you've got your WASD working, or if you're like directly checking the keys, I guess. I don't know. I think the way that they would intend for you to do this is to make your character a character body 2D, because then you can basically, with the character body 2D, you basically just set the velocity, and then you can just move and slide, and you can just call move and slide, and your character will move by whatever the velocity is set to. So you could easily just set the velocity to be whatever your movement axes are, like your WS and AD, like your XY movement axes. If you have acceleration, you'll need to do I think your own acceleration calculation, but then yeah, then you can just set the velocity in pixels per second, and then you just call move and slide. If it's top down, you'd probably want the floating motion mode. You probably wouldn't want it to be grounded. I think for continuous movement, especially like physical continuous movement, this is the class that they want you to use. A 2D physics body specialized for characters moved by script. Yeah. So they're not affected by physics, but they can affect other physics. So I think they're good main character classes. So I would look at maybe switching your node 2D character to a character body 2D, and then looking at setting up the velocity and move and slide. I'm pretty sure the Godot manual lays out how to do that. I don't remember if it's in Getting Started. I don't remember where they talk about that. Listening to player input, maybe? Moving when pressing up. Yeah, I would take a look at this. I would take a look at this section of the Godot docs. And it should give you the ability to do direct control stuff. I'm just gonna throw that link in the chat here. I hope that sends you at least in the right direction here. This looks like it's not doing it with character body 2D, maybe. There's another section that does a more sophisticated... That's my one problem with this manual is that they repeat the information like multiple times. Okay, here we go. Captain Fubar, thank you for chiming in here. You don't even have to code your own controller. Character body 2D comes with a basic controller script template. Beautiful. Beautiful. Didn't even know that. Alright, since Captain Fubar has saved the day, I'm gonna check our tightened up animation here. See how that looks now that we've shortened the animation time. I like that, it's a little crisper. It doesn't look like we're cutting off an animation. Let's see what happens when we reach our target, because that's when it would... This is maybe like... Yes, okay, let's see if that just ends. Oh, it doesn't end cleanly. There's still kind of a weird transition. We might need to we need to lengthen our animation a little bit. Yeah, thank you. We're aiming for something like this, where this is kind of my little vibe check here, proof of concept for the graphics. We're looking for like a classic. It is quite a low angle. I'm not totally sure what the degrees are, but it is, instead of the standard pixel art 2 over 1 down, it's 4 over 1 down. So it is a much lower isometric angle. So it definitely presents some problems that we need to deal with, like the way walls obscure the hallways behind them. That's definitely one of the things we're going to need to look at soon, is getting the walls out of the way. I'm thinking of doing like a mouse cursor, kind of, we clear the walls out of the way around the mouse cursor. I'm also thinking of maybe doing something more like the Sim style, where you can just control how the walls view. We could also do some shader stuff where the characters, even if they're obscured and you're not mousing over that specific area, they like, you see some transparent, you see some, like, you know, their outline gets rendered through the walls kind of thing. There's a number of approaches we could take, but yeah, definitely some... I like this art style, but yeah, definitely some problems that we'll address here. So currently we need to smooth out our animation here a little bit. I think we need to make the last idle frame a little longer so that it leads into the idle frame seamlessly. You need to change vibes. You need to change the motion mode, I think, from grounded to floating. If it's grounded, I think it will fall. So I think we want to change our animation time to like 0.85. but not actually move any of this. It's gonna look a little weird when we're cycling through. Yeah, very. This pretty much is bones at the moment. This game is actually like my first attempt. I definitely did TOS era when I was drawing this as well. Like I definitely had the gold shirts going. Definitely inspired by classic Star Trek. Personally, maybe more TNG, but I think for the resolution I'm at, it's going to be easier to achieve more of a TOS vibe. Just something even blockier. But yeah, this is my first foray into pixel art. So we're kind of just trying to keep it simple here. Kind of just work with what I know. All right, let's see. This might look... So I'm worried that this is going to look fine when we're moving from one tile. Yes, okay. So it looks great when we're moving just between one tile, although that arm sticking out at the end is a little weird. Oh, yeah, vibes. Captain Fubar says that there is gravity in the template script. So you might need to comment out the gravity portion. Okay, so it looks okay traveling between individual tiles. I am worried about how it looks when moving across multiple tiles, because now the idle portion is longer. It's okay. It's okay. It's not bad. It's irregular, but I think I'm okay with that. These are also just really shitty, like, programmer art animations. We will definitely tune up the animations. Alright, anyway. Let's see, what do we want to do next? I think next we are going to make the doors selectable and possibly lockable. So... we already have a selection highlight, like a selection highlight shader that I think we can reapply to the door here. We'll just need to add the doors to the input handler. Material... new shader material, maybe? Or is it a canvas item? No, it's a canvas item material. New canvas item material. And we'll just use... I have one already, or how do I get it in here? Let's look at my crew member. Oh, you like them, Captain? That's... yeah, old point and click scum adventure games. Oh, nice. Yeah, we're definitely going for a retro aesthetic. Oh, it's tied to arrow keys by default. Oh, interesting. Let's look at how we have this set up. So this is... oh no, this is a shader material, and it's the outline GD shader. So we want to get that set up here too. So we don't want a canvas item shader. We want a shader material shader. Let's get our outline shader. Shader parameters. There's 8 H frames and 1 P frame. Oh, this is a bit of a problem. Let's look at this. Why is this what we're dealing with here? I think I understand to an extent why this is happening. Oh, we don't want an outline shader. We need an inline shader. So we actually, yeah, this is an outline shader. We need an inline shader. I'm a fool. I'll need to write that. Let's clear this. Let's clear this and work on that later. I've only got about 20 minutes before I gotta go get ready for work, and I don't think I'm gonna write an inline shader in 20 minutes. I mean, it shouldn't be that hard. It's just I find myself significantly dumber when I'm streaming than when I'm working offline. I don't know if it's just my focus is being pulled in too many directions, but I find tasks that are normally like super easy, like very difficult when I'm streaming. But it's still only my 6th stream, so that might just be an experience issue. I guess it's my 7th stream. Anyway, so we're not going to do that. What we could do is we could look at how we're going to handle doors that are locked in terms of pathfinding. Oh, Captain Fubar, thank you. Thank you for the follow. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I appreciate you saying I'm doing fine, but you arrived at the time after I had spent like an hour just like getting these doors to work. Getting these doors to work in a way that didn't cause them to shut on characters' faces as they were trying to pass through. So what we need to deal with right now is, so if the next tile's in the doorway and the door isn't opened, that's all fine. This is all stuff we're gonna do if the door is unlocked. So let's add a door. Variable locked. Bool. Doors are gonna start unlocked. So vibes. Let's see. So if you're trying to, so let's see. Let's say I wanted to add some actions. Let's say, I don't know, keyboard move. I don't know. Let's add an input action. So I'm looking at keyboard keys. I'm actually not 100% sure about how to do an axis, how to do a movement axis. So I might actually not be the right person to ask about this. Joypad axes, not a joypad axes. Just type the key. Oh, filter by event, yeah. So W. So how do we set up, not shift, just W. Just W. Physical key code. Yeah, it's fine. That's not exactly what you probably want, but. So how do we set up opposing inputs is what I want to know, just for my own education here. So we're doing like D. So if we have this, how do we make these opposable? How to do input action? Do we need to call? Do we need to separate them like this? Like. Okay, so this is how you're gonna map them then. Okay. I thought we could set them up as like an axis, but maybe I'm like too much into like Unity axes. So I guess you'll need to generate your own axis. Or you can just not worry about the axis. Like if you don't care, you can just look for an up or down as long as you map them to WASD. So you got up, down, you would just need to add your left and right. We'll add these just in case I want keyboard camera controls. We'll finish adding these. Also, you might not want the physical key. You might want like the digital one if you want to accommodate other people's keyboards, I think. Oh, it works. Hell yeah. Got it. Oh, also, down is not D, down is S. Fool. Stop hitting shift when I'm doing this. So yeah, like that. It seems like you already got it. Input class has 2 methods to facilitate the calculate the direction. Okay. Alright, well we're not really using up, down, left, right now, but we might want that later. Oh, get vector, up, down, left, right would return an input strength vector to direction. Oh, okay. Okay. So that's how you do it. That's how you get your axes. Very cool. Get access returns the strength for one direction. Nice. Yeah, I'm not really doing any direct control stuff, but we do have a camera. We might end up moving the camera, so I'll just leave that stuff in there right now. In case we want some WASD camera stuff. We do want controller support eventually, so it makes sense that we'll have something like that implemented. Anyway, what are we doing? What are we doing right now? What did I say we were doing? Oh, we're going to handle locked doors. So if a door is locked... I also kind of want like a locked door animation, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do for that. I'm thinking something like these yellow arrows flash if the door is locked. Maybe. I think that could be cool. Oops. Alright, let's get back to it. Here we go. Right, so the door is locked. Can I just do this? Can I just do if not door opened? That's this for a second. Oh yeah, that does work. Sweet. Still a little weird on Godot syntax. Else, so if the door is not locked, we can do all of this stuff that we want to do here. Yes, the door does not occupy the space of a tile. The door is in between tiles, which might or might not be a problem eventually. At the moment, it seems fine, and it kind of works. It very well might. So far, it's weirdly okay. Like, even if we're sending like multiple characters in through, we've got it set up now that we aren't too worried about. We aren't worried. They're not like the door's not slamming in anybody's face. I am a little worried. I think we are double triggering some stuff because a character gets in front of the door, asks the door to open, and then they get through the door. And they also, I think, ask the door to open. I think they ask the door to open both before they get to the door and while they're passing through the door, which I think is fine. Yeah, same with walls. Yeah, I am curious to see how that works out. I'm okay with it for now. Mainly because I don't want these like half tile segments. Like if a tile's in the middle of a wall is in the middle of a tile, then my tiles are all getting cut in half along the edges of a room. And I looked at that and I was not super pleased, but I also think it doesn't totally matter. Well, like if we were just making, if we're making a door in the middle of a tile, since our tiles here are like 8 by 16, if we were having the doors like bisect a tile, just make the walls as thick of a tile. That is what we are doing. That is what we are doing. Oh, so you're thinking I should embed the door like midway. Yeah, that's maybe a good idea. I think visually we might have some issues if I start embedding, if I start setting doors back. But yeah, walls are definitely full tile, like behind the scenes. They're obviously not like paper thin. They're gonna occupy the... Doors have no depth. That is correct. At the moment, doors have no depth. That is a good point. I'm okay with doors having no depth at the moment, but that is maybe something we want to think about. I tried drawing these walls and doors at various like thicknesses, and it felt like anything less than a full tile felt bad, which is what I went with for the walls. We can't see it because I didn't bother to draw it, but the walls will have thicknesses. And the doors, I wasn't really thinking about the doors. I did like having the doors be just paper thin here, but you're right. Maybe the door needs to... Maybe they need to be double doors. Like, just really thick. Yeah, no, you're right. If I make them tiles, yeah, interact, destroy walls, fireplace. Yeah, the walls are full tiles, which helps, but you're right about the doors being half tiles, or being basically not tiles, being the threshold between two tiles, being a problem. You were actually very right about that. I was just about to tackle that issue in terms of how we handle it when we get to a tile with a locked door behind it, but if the door is the whole tile... Alright, let's look at that. Let's just look at what that would look like. We got time. We're gonna need 32 by 16? No, we want 32 by... We want 64 by 32? Let's start with that. Let's look at it. It's a good point. Thank you for bringing it up before I got too deep in this. Let's grab the static door. Let's grab this one. That is way too big. I made this too big. Oh, I didn't. I made it way too tall. I did want 32 by 32. Who cares, though? So, it's going to be pretty easy to handle a locked door. It would just look like... See what I mean about how I depend on the chat for all my good ideas? Yeah, it would help making them tiles. I mean, it wouldn't be terrible just defining the connections, but this I think is maybe a little easier. It also makes it more believable then that each door would be like an airlock. Depending on how I do it. It would definitely make an auto airlock setup a lot easier. Not totally sure about what I want to do with the top, which is a bit awkward and maybe part of the reason why I didn't do this originally. Because there should be this top section, and I'm not sure what I want to do with it. I could make it solid. You know what we maybe just want? What we actually want? Now that I'm thinking about it. Maybe we just want this. At the moment, rooms are always 1 unit tall. That is at the moment true. What color am I using for floors? I don't even know. Is it the same color as the door? It is the same color as the door. Yeah, at the moment, the rooms are all 1 unit tall. Honestly, the way I started, the first couple prototypes for this version of the game, I actually had stacked decks, because I thought it would be really interesting if the decks were like, if you were like, had an upper like bridge deck and like a lower like engineering deck, and characters move between them. But it was so much harder than just doing this where everything's going to be on 1 level. But now, because everything's on 1 level, I should think about having rooms that are taller. I'm just not worried about it at the moment because I don't really want to do vertical pathfinding. Because right now we're using A-Star Grid 2D, and I would either need to like hack that to be able to handle like transitions from one grid to another, or I would need to start doing some A-Star 3D, which I have tried. Oh yeah, an animation if the person exits into a pressured environment. Yeah, like through the yeah, A-Star Grid 2D was... I used all 3. I tried all 3. I tried Grid 2D, A-Star 2D, and A-Star 3D. And A-Star 3D was powerful. It is definitely powerful. There's a lot you can do with that. But I also I don't need like navigation layers or any stuff like that because we're like on a tile grid. Which I feel like is maybe not obvious enough that we're on a tile grid when I just look. Maybe I want like some more subtle tile outlines. I have versions of the tiles with outlines, so like I could paint the full tile outline here, but I don't really want to. Like I don't want this. I think this is like too much. Maybe I do some subtle ones. But yeah, I think as I start drawing more set pieces, we'll definitely have some rooms that are like taller. I actually do have a room. I have a room that I haven't thrown into the game because I don't know exactly how I want to deal with it, but it's something I drew as a concept, so it's not in the game files. It's here. Not outlines. Simple fully shaded tile. Yeah, I think I just maybe need to make that highlighting system a little better. So here's a room that's going to be bigger. This is like, don't worry about the room stuff, but this is like, I think this is going to be you. I think this is like the player avatar. I was working on this. You're going to be like a kind of weird demigod, kind of hybrid machine, man-machine kind of thing. Yeah, clone chamber. Something like that. And this definitely implies that the room is higher than 1 tile. So I need to work on that part of it. I think that'll look cool. That's kind of the heart of your ship. Anyway, let's finish fixing this. So what color do I use for the walls? Which I don't know if I totally like. The darker gray. Let's see if I can find that. Load my preset. There we go. Probably this one. So I think we'll maybe end up with something that looks like this. The problem is this needs to be separate. Yeah, in case you need to respawn. Yeah. Maybe that is what this will be for. There's like some narrative design, I think, to this, where like this game is called like Digital Iliad, so it's kind of like supposed to be like a Homeric myth. So I'm thinking about like tiers of characters, like maybe the humans are humans, you know, people are people, but I'm thinking like the gods are like hyper advanced like AIs, And then maybe the demigods are situations like this where you're like kind of a man-machine hybrid. We'll see. Still early days. Still trying to figure it out. So I think a doorway is maybe going to look like this, which I like because there is... You still see both doors clearly. It occupies a full tile. Oh, yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm still... A lot of people like fleshing out the narrative design first. I have like a vague idea, but... I'm really trying to listen. I'm trying to wait and kind of listen to the game and listen to kind of what it wants to be. But I definitely have some more overarching plans. So I think this is cool. I think this is a little confusing. No, I think it's fine actually. But we do need these to be separate. So like, the wall can just be part of the tile map. Floor can just be part of the tile map. So I guess the only real change for us... save this at airlock mockup. Because we can't actually use this because there will be problems. We gotta split this up into its component parts. So I guess the only real change for us, it's unfortunate with this door, or with these walls here. I put these walls here to like illustrate a point about how I need to handle transparency, but I'm just gonna like erase them for right now. Because I don't want to worry about them. Just so we can look at our fancy double door setup here. So the wall's fine, the tile's fine. Question is, do I have these operate independently or together? Probably together. In which case, so is a door going to be like... Oh yeah, that's I guess the real question for me is like, are these separate doors? And then I'll have airlock as like a concept. And the airlock will have both doors, and the airlock will control both doors rather than trying to make this like each door node, this double door section. Yeah, I guess so. That's going to be our concept of an airlock. And honestly, if we're doing this FTL style where there's going to be like, you're going to need to worry about oxygen and stuff, I think having airlocks everywhere kind of makes some sense. Because yeah, I can't think of a good way to do the door otherwise. I mean, unless, yeah, we do the door in the middle. We do the door in the middle of the tile, which I think is not the worst. Like if we just move the door like here for a door that isn't an airlock. Maybe that's fine. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe that's fine for most of our doors. We just do this. This is easiest to test. Although, this kind of, if we have this, it's going to make it kind of weird to also then have this. Yeah, exactly. It's going to be obfuscated by a wall. That's why I didn't want to do that originally. But when you started talking about having the doors be represented by whole tiles, I really liked that. In terms of, you know, dealing with some of the problems I had finally noticed in the code. But yeah, I don't... So this addresses that problem, but it does look bad. You can still see... You can still kind of see it. Here we go. What do we want? We want... oh, I can't actually... Oh, yeah, this one. We want this one. I mean, you can kind of still tell that there's a door there, but yeah, that's rough. We don't like that. Like, it's still visible as a door. No. And that's kind of inconsistent with having the doors, like, still be on the thresholds, but be represented and handled as a full tile. Like this. And since we're not asking Well, I don't know. Yeah, as long as we make the interactable element this combination. No, I guess you do want to be able to open one of these at a time. You could open the front door or the back door. At least now if we do this, if we do them in pairs, we have a concept. Because we have a pair, we now have a concept of entering the airlock and exiting the airlock. Whereas if it's just a door by itself, you're just passing through the door, and it's kind of bidirectional. And it was causing some trouble for me because getting up to the door and passing through the door were kind of being treated the same way. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about at this point, but it was a problem. But I like this. Let's set this up. Let's set this up. Let's make a new scene. We'll just make it a node 2D. We're going to call it airlock. And we are going to put 2 doors. We're going to say one is like the front door. Oh, no, I didn't do this right. Oh, no, I did. Where are you? There you are. I just zoomed out so much that I couldn't see. So we'll have a front door. And we will have a back door. I guess we'll have the front door in front. That makes sense. Back door. Put the front door like here. Put the back door like here. I think that's all we need for the moment. I can add scenes as tiles to my tile set. Oh man, now you tell me. That's interesting. Really? Okay, so I can just have this airlock as a tile in my tile set. For some reason, I thought the tile sets were all... Like, a tile would only ever be handled as part of the tile set and couldn't have, like, its own behavior and existence as a more complex object. Tile set editor, add a scene collection, then load in or drag and drop your scene in it. Okay, okay. We will mess around with that tomorrow, I think. I'm going to put this back for now, and we're going to substitute these with airlocks. And we'll form to control the scene's position. No, but that's fine. Like, if it's... Well... If it's part of the... Yeah, I mean, it's part of the tile map, but it's still like a scene. Like, it still has scripts and code and its own identity. As long as it has its own existence. While still being within the tile map. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Okay, now that definitely simplifies my hierarchy a lot. That also definitely makes level design a lot easier. That's cool. Vibes. You're getting tired. And if in Unity it doesn't work... Well, I mean... you might quit game developing. I mean, don't try to do it in Unity, would be my advice, I guess. I would just not use Unity. I think it's like... Godot is just so good. If I was doing 3D, I would be maybe tempted to try Unreal for 3D, but okay, well then we need to, yeah, we'll make the scene, we need to, then we need to have a wall and a floor. Oh wait, no we don't, because the floor can be its own layer and the wall can be in its own layer, and the airlock can be part of the layer. Sweet. Sweet. So this is good. This is good. Yeah, the tile set will just help placing it. That's awesome. That is awesome. I didn't realize that. I feel like maybe it's one of those things I read in a tutorial and it like wasn't relevant to me at the moment, so I just totally forgot it. We're gonna We're gonna hang out at this screen for a second because I think Twitch tries to pull like a good thumbnail. And this thumbnail seems to get me some more views when this image ends up with this thumbnail, because I need to stop soon because my work starts in like 20 minutes. But we'll chill for a second first. Vibes, yeah, it's the only 2D game development like software engine like Godot. There was more. Okay, yeah. Try Game Maker. I mean, it's good enough for Butterscotch. You're doing like crazy. The amount of stuff that they've done with Game Maker is incredible. Let's see, did I save everything? That's saved. That all looks saved. Okay. Yeah, just grab. Oh, let me see. Let me see if I can get it for you. Game Maker. Yeah, it's like literally the first result. Like the first result. Anyway, this has been awesome. I really appreciate you both showing up for the back half of the stream. It was a real quiet first half, kind of just me just plunking away. Really appreciate the input. Captain Fubar, you've had a bunch of ideas. Yeah, it's been real great. I'll be back. I stream 7:30 a.m. till about 9:30 a.m. PST on weekday mornings. So I hope to see you in the future. And yeah, I hope you have a good rest of the day. Good luck with your game development vibes. It's been fun. See y'all next time.